sir. We live. We back, man. Welcome back to the Golden Goose DFS show. I am your host, Chandler Blakely, aka Goose. We are the leaders in single entry, 3 max, and 20 max content, man. But have no fear if that's not your particular style of play, man. If you play NBA DFS at all, man, I don't care if you play free contests, man. This is the best spot you can be in. Go on and hit that subscribe button. Turn your notification bell on so you can be here rocking with us when the videos and content drop, all right? Also, one small favor, one small request. All I ask of you from this free show here is to just hit the like button, man. Help the channel grow, get our engagement up, man, and to get some good karma headed your direction, man. Who all doesn't need and want more good karma, more good energy in your life? So go on and hit that like button and open up the floodgates for you to receive that energy. I'm sending it out to you, man. Let's do it, all right? You know what I'm saying? It's a caveat. It definitely boosts your wins, man. If you've been watching a lot of content and you ain't been hitting the like button, you losing a little bit. That's probably why, man. You gotta hit the like button, man. Respect what you watching, all right? Hit that for your boy, man. Thank you for tuning in. I'm happy to have you, all right? This is my starting five. If you're new here, well, I bring you 5 plays. That's more than likely going to be in my player pool, in my lineups on DraftKings and FanDuel. I always say more than likely because if you're new to NBA DFS, you will soon find out you have to be up on the injury news throughout the day, man. You get guys ruled out throughout the day, before lock, after lock. You have to stay on top of it and adjust your lineups accordingly, all right? So that being said, let's get to it, man. You know I don't like to hold you long, but before we do, got the lineup review. Going over my best lineups from yesterday's slate. We're going to keep with the same format, man. We're going to give you my highest scoring lineup on DK, and we also going to review my single entry on DK, all right? No real negative comments, we'll see how it go. Like I said, if y'all want to get back to FanDuel and seeing that as well, let me know out there, man. I have no problem bringing the people what they want to see. I'm just a man of the people, not above but equal. And for the greater good, I walks amongst the evil. Shout out to J. Cole, man. Let's get to it, all right? Nice night on DK. Nice night, profitable night. This is my highest scoring lineup here, 326. This was the $1.20 max. Did the top, Dennis Schroeder, 20% on, man. The guards went crazy last night. The guards went absolutely crazy. It was a lot of guards you could have got to, man. I'm talking about Quickly, Rozier, Cunningham, Fox. The guards just went absolutely crazy. There was a lot of different guards you could have went. A lot of ways to build your lineup yesterday. Got to some Schroeder here at 20% on, man. We knew Lonnie Walker was getting some ownership. We knew those Timberwolves guys was getting some ownership with no Cat. Got to Schroeder here, 21% on over here, 45 fantasy points. He just went on a scoring tear here, keeping the Nets in this game. 31 real life points from Schroeder in this spot. Got to some Anthony Edwards. I told you yesterday in the video, I'm definitely going to be playing some Ant-Man with no Towns. Love the matchup. Definitely scared me a little bit. Had a little ankle roll to start the game. Got off to a slow start, but finished up strong, man. 65 fantasy points from Ant Edwards and the amazing game-saving block at the end. Definitely love the performance from him in that spot. Jaden McDaniels just trying to get to a different piece of this Minnesota team. Like I always tell you, man, when we got a spot like this, everybody going to Kyle Anderson and the Minnesota guys because of Towns being out. I like to get to guys who are going to be a little lower on that side. And we got to McDaniels here in this particular lineup, 4% on, man, 30 fantasy points. He was solid, man. Outperformed Kyle Anderson as he struggled, foul trouble, and all that and above. He owed me plenty of money, all right? Jalen Wilson here, man, just trying to get different in my lineup, trying to give a different construction, different build. Know we had some chalky pieces in here, especially with Zach Collins and Keldon Johnson being everybody's favorite chalk. Got to Wilson here, thought he could pick up some extra minutes maybe if somebody got in foul trouble or maybe Walker didn't perform like he wanted to. Definitely destroyed me here in this spot. Only 3 fantasy points from him. Near the flat men, but it still kills you. Killed this lineup right here. Zach Collins, 60% on everybody's chalk with no Wemby. 37 fantasy points for him. Very solid out of him. Bradley Beal needed more production out of Beal, man. Got off to a hot start and just coasted to the finish. Thought we was in for a big one from him, man. He had like 17 fantasy points in the first quarter. I thought we was in for a big night, but he fizzled out. 38 fantasy points at 20% ownership. Keldon Johnson, man, I talked about him yesterday for y'all. 42% on, man, 35 fantasy points. Still didn't start, but I was fine playing him, man, going to Keldon Johnson. I knew he should be in line for 30 minutes in this spot. He had a nice performance here. And then Jokic, man, just getting different with my pay-up options. I like Jokic. I like Tatum as well, man. Had some Tatum-Jokic combinations, but Jaylen Brown with the career night over there, having a big night for the Celtics. So Jason Tatum definitely let me down on some spots, but Jokic came through at 10% on, man. 72 fantasy points. Right up there with Doncic if you went that route yesterday, and for less money. So Jokic turned out to be one of the best point per dollar pay up options. 72 real life points from him. Like I said, 326 best lineup over there. My single entry, this is the $12 single entry. Nice cash over here. Came in 120th place. At the top, man, you see Cade Cunningham. I told the gang last night I thought he was a nice way to get different. Once I looked further into the slate and saw Cade Cunningham is averaging, he was averaging like 49 fantasy point against the net. So I definitely wanted to get back to him in this spot at this price tag, and he came through with a big game for us. 57 fantasy points. Like I said, I don't know how much it moved the needle though, because it was so many guards that performed well and some that performed up there for cheaper prices. Like I said, you had Terry Rozier with a big one. It was just a lot of guards doing their thing. Bradley Beal, 6,900, 22% on. Like I said, 38 fantasy points. Just needed a little more from him in this spot. Anthony Edwards, 47% on, 65 fantasy points. Kyle Anderson, almost 70% on over here. That's why we were still able to cash. That's why I was okay going to Kyle Anderson in the single entry. And I knew I was going to get different with guys like Cade Cunningham. But Kyle Anderson here in this spot, man, I knew he would be high enough on that if he failed, it still would be a good chance I could be live to still take something down. And we got that scenario right, but Kyle Anderson just did not do anything for us. Foul trouble early, just did not get it going. Failed a lot of people over here. 12 fantasy points, definitely needed more from him. Zach Collins was 80% on in this single entry, 37 from him. Got to Dennis Smith Jr. once we got the announcement that Lonnie Walker was not starting. Could stay with Lonnie Walker as Lonnie outscored him. But Dennis Smith Jr. still came in, was okay at 4,300, 24 fantasy points, right at about 6x there for him. Then Keldon Johnson, 49% on over here, 35 fantasy points. And then my boy De'Aaron Fox, you seen me talk about him yesterday. Told you can go right back to the well with him. Had a nice game here against the Spurs. 53 fantasy points from him, man. 322 came in 120th place over here. Like I said, very solid night over on DK. Solid night on FanDuel, too. We little more than doubled our money over there, man. It was a nice night over there. Y'all seen Quickly game, man. Stop playing. I had Quickly at low ownership yesterday, too, man. I love it, all right? Let's get to today's 6-game slate, man. They dropped the late, too, so we left with a 6-gamer on both sites. Might be kind of tough today, man. First slate in a couple of nights this week that we haven't had no. Right now, we don't have any set it and forget it chalk plays. Like the last couple of nights, you had the Collins and Andersons and all them of the world for the past few nights this week. Seems like every night this week we had some lock and load value plays. Don't really have that tonight, which I love. I love when it's not lock and load plays and you really got to get in and build. I think that's where my strength lies. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times though, NBA, you get value places that you just got to lock in. Tonight, don't really see that just yet. Doesn't mean we're not going to have it. Could happen. You know, there's injury news throughout the day. But right now, the slate says no really lock and load value, like I said. So let's get into it. At the top, point guard, I want to look at Vasily Micic. 5,300, man. Should be getting the start here again. We saw him get the start last time out and performed a little better than he did in his first start. So he's probably getting a little more comfortable with this starting unit. Now, you add that to the fact that they're playing these Washington Wizards. We already know how this matchup goes, man. It's not a lot of high totals tonight on the slate, so it's no 235s and 240s on tonight. Everything like 225 and under. So you're going to want to look at game environment, and probably I look at implied team totals every night, but you would mainly so want to focus on the game environment, and that's what you're going to get right here with the Charlotte Washington. A lot of people are probably going to be in this game. Two lackluster defenses, but the offense hasn't been that efficient. We shall see. But like I said, Vasilije Micic should get the start here. Should be a little more comfortable in his role. I expect him to keep performing better, and he could see the ceiling in minutes if Trey Mann is ruled out. Trey Mann is questionable right now. If he's ruled out, I definitely think you can see big minutes from Micic, maybe 35, 36 here in this spot, and I definitely like taking a shot on him at 5,300. A guy that can score a little bit and has nice peripherals, a good passer, can rack up some assists. I like going to Vasilije Micic at 5,300. At the shooting guard spot, man, you got to look at Jordan Poole. Just given the slate, the way he's been playing as of late, man, you got to consider Jordan Poole here. 6K. He's probably going to garner a lot of ownership. He's been playing well over the last 3 or 4 games here in this spot. 6K, great matchup against the Charlotte Hornets, man. Not really concerned about defense in this matchup. The tale of this game is going to be who could be the most efficient on offense, because they both going to have chances to score as the defense is not that good. It's just who can be more efficient on offense. And I like getting to Jordan Poole. You know the shot attempts are going to be there. Still coming off the bench, but he's playing starters minutes. He's just been playing. Since coming off the bench, his play in his role has just increased. I like going to him at Jordan Poole. Probably going to be a little chalky here. At the small forward, going right back to Anthony Edwards. Listen, I know it's a tough matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know it's one of the lowest game totals on the slate. Minnesota on the second night of a back-to-back. Anthony Edwards played big minutes last night, but I do not care, man. I do not care. He's a young gunner. I told you I don't really worry about the young players on second night of a back-to-back. Because, fellas, you know how it was, man. When you 21, 22, you can play ball 4 straight days in a row all day. So I think he's perfectly fine. And he's still without Cat, man. I think you're going to see Anthony Edwards really step up his play. I think you can see Anthony Edwards go on a real run here with no Cat to close out the season. He's going to try to hold down this number 1 spot for the Timberwolves. They're going to need him night in and night out. I think he's up to the task, man. Give me Anthony Edwards until he's no longer priced affordable, or to Karl Anthony Towns come back. I'll be playing Anthony Edwards. 9K, tough matchup. Does not matter, man. The kid's a superstar. Give me Anthony Edwards at 9K. At the power forward, want to look at DeAndre Hunter. I'm expecting him to get inserted back into the starting lineup, but that's not a guarantee. We will have to see. The Hawks will be without Jalen Johnson this game. So Hunter's been playing off the bench, but he's been pushing for starter minutes, 27, 28, right at 30 minutes each game. I expect him to slot right into this starting lineup now. He's a guy who started for this Hawks team in the past, not under Quinn Snyder, but he's working. They've been talking him up all year, talking about Quinn Snyder been mentioning him getting back into the starting lineup. So I take it he will take this chance with no Jalen Johnson to do just that. Insert him into the starting lineup. He's been playing well off the bench. I expect him to continue to play well, especially going against this G League Grizzlies team here. Sign me up for some DeAndre Hunter at 5K. I like this value play today. At the center, think we can go back to Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J, man. You know the Grizzlies suck, but he's carrying the load for him, man. The usage is through the roof. It's whatever shot he wants when he wants. There's nobody to contend with him on the offensive end. You know he has block upside here. He's a defender down low for the Grizzlies. I like getting the Jaren Jackson Jr. here. 8,200. Sign me up for him in this matchup. Pace up game for him. You know Atlanta defense is not that good. Give me Jaren Jackson, all right? There you have it. Your starting 5 for DraftKings. Vasilije Micic, Jordan Poole, Anthony Edwards, DeAndre Hunter, and Jaren Jackson Jr., all right? Let's go look at FanDuel and see what I'm feeling over there. Hit that like button if you haven't done it already, all right? Let's get to it. At the top, Staying with my boy Vasily Micic, only $100 more expensive over here. I just broke down to you the matchup, his play. He's gonna give you peripherals if that shot is falling, man. This could be a potential big upside for him here, especially if Trey Mann is ruled out. I expect this game to be fairly competitive. And, lack of defense, if he's getting 36 minutes in this spot, Vasily Micic could be in line for a big, big game today, all right? At the shooting guard, man, I want to look at DeJounte Murray, 8,900. Listen, I know he's not been having the greatest performances since Trae Young has went out, but they really haven't needed him to, man. The team's been playing. They've been playing an overall team game. They haven't really got in a spot where he just has to shoulder the load. It's probably going to be the same thing here, but I don't mind getting DeJounte Murray. He's going to have his hand thumbprint all over this game here. Give me some DeJounte Murray. Expecting to lead the Hawks to victory over the Grizzlies here. He's live for a triple-double night in and night out, all right? Just give me DeJounte Murray. I'm not really worried about the matchup here. We on a shorter slate, and it's not a lot of options just jumping off the page to you today. When you get into your breakdown today, you're going to see it's not nothing that's just like, bam, I got to have this guy. So you're going to have to mix and match your lineups, really build. Your construction is really going to have to be on point tonight, all right? At the small forward, staying with DeAndre Hunter, 5,700, a little more expensive over here on FanDuel, but he is one of my favorite value plays right now, man. There's no way, even if he doesn't start, man, there's no way he don't get 30-plus minutes here in this spot. I just don't see it. They're going to need him on the wing here. They don't really want to go to Garrison Matthews. Bogdanovich is already starting, man. I just think this is his spot. He going to get all the minutes he can handle here. Like getting DeAndre Hunter, love the matchup. At the power forward, definitely want to get to some Kyle Kuzma, man. Should continue to get the start at center. I know Richaun Holmes is going to be very popular. He's probably going to be the most popular value play on the slate right now. 3,700, saw 25 minutes last time out. I think he's a solid value play. I don't know if he's a smash, lock, and load, but definitely getting to a lot of Kuzma, man. Starting at the center, I love it. You can take centers against the Charlotte Hornets, man. And I think he's going to be a matchup nightmare if Nick Richards is down there. Nick Richards has no chance of checking him. He's going to pull him out the paint, get him to the three-point line, beat him off the dribble, use his quickness against him, man. I like getting the Kyle Kuzma here in this spot. I'm expecting a nice one from him as well, man. This is going to be a tough matchup for the Charlotte Hornets if they have Nick Richards guarding him. So we have to see how they plan to attack it, but I like this spot for Kuzma as well. He's one of my favorite plays today also, gang. And then at the center, man, I'm staying with Jaren Jackson Jr., 9K. Over here on FanDuel, man, you got to get the center right. It's highly important. I'm going with the guy who I think can give you the best performance today. Sign me up for Jaren Jackson Jr., all right? There you have it, man. Your starting five for FanDuel. Jaren Jackson Jr., Kyle Kuzma, DeAndre Hunter, DeJounte Murray, and Vasily Micic. Get you some exposure to these guys. Get them in your player pools. You know they're going to be in mine. Y'all already know, man. Questions, comments, concerns. You just want to send a shout out, holler at me, tell me where you're from. Does not matter, man. I'll respond when I see it. That's going to do it for us here today. Y'all know the motto. Chances make champions. Y'all green up. I'll catch y'all next time, all right? Let's get it.